Hey everybody, welcome to Think Twice Rocker Advice. I'm your host Elijah. What do you do when you realize things have not gone the way that you expected them to go in life? Could be talking to you. This could be you in this season right now where you are just like, man, things have not gone how I expected them to go in life. I want to give you three things. Short and sweet, three things that might help us in this season. Like for me, for instance, if you're watching this on YouTube, you'll see that this jacket did not go the way that I planned it to go. Because the collar keeps riding up. But more importantly and deeper level, maybe you find yourself in a position where it's like, yeah, what was that? Or what's going on? I'm trying and I'm trying and I'm trying, and I just can't make any headway. Today we're going to deal with what to do when things are not going as we expected them to go. Number one, let's do this. Number one, let's deal with the good. Identifying the good is really important because we're going to deal with the bad here in a moment, and then we're going to go to the indifferent. And these are all pretty vital steps in the process. So let's, one, decide we're going to look for the good. Now, it may not have come from a good place. The situation you're in might be you didn't ask for it, or it was completely out of your hands in how it has played out, but you need to identify the good. If we can get ourselves in the habit of that, there's good in everything if we'll look for it. That's the key, is looking for it. I know if you're sitting in a frustrated spot right now, you're like, dude, I don't want to look for the good. I understand that. What I'm saying is that you not looking for the good is not going to help your situation, and me just saying these things might make you aware of good that can come out of the things. And so I remember when I was little, I was left-handed. I was born left-handed. And then I went to school, and I was so insecure that I didn't want people to see me writing with my left hand. And so I forced myself to learn to write with my right hand. Now, it didn't change who I was, but it did add to my abilities over time. And guess what I can do now? I can write and draw with both hands. There was the good that birthed out of the insecurity of the bad. Whatever you're going through right now, there may be some good that can come out of the situation. So I want you to start looking for, what am I bigger in right now than I was before? I'm going to use my own personal life right now in this season of my life. Right now, I am struggling with the fact that I'm comparing myself to achievements that I've made in the past, and right now on paper I'm having a hard time because I'm not able to follow through. I'm not able to see myself manifesting like I feel like I should have. I feel like I should be further along in my career by now, but the truth is I was further along in the past, and right now I'm just in an interesting season. But the fact remains that I thought I would be further than I am right now. Is that you? You thought you would be further along in whatever area that you're talking about by now, and it's just not playing out. And so how do we find the good when we're giving all that we can? How do we find the good in that? For me personally, I have to look at the reasons why I'm not as far down the road, or at least why I perceive myself not to be as far down the road as I should be. And I'll say this, that we are exactly where we need to be. We can't start from anywhere but here. So accepting that it's okay that we're right here. It's actually a good thing that we're right here, because we can start from right here. We can make a plan from right here. So that is a positive thing. It's not where we want to be, but it's not where we're going to end up. We can make a plan from here. But I feel like for me personally, I'm in a season where, you know, for years, I got to enjoy helping raise my kids. And what that would mean for me is I couldn't spend it would affect the family dynamic if I was gone all the time. And so my traveling greatly slowed down when they became older teenagers. And so my bookings, started to, and then when COVID happened, that took all the finances away. Then I went through a divorce during that. And so now no finances, no shows, no relationships, are dwindling down relationships that I used to have, you do these shows at. And then when you could get in there, it was half capacity, which means half the pay. And it was hard to go like that. And so then I got to where I was having trouble doing more bookings. Well, now my kids are all grown-ish, you know what I'm saying? And so they are on their own. They're California kids. I don't know that they'll ever leave California. They were raised here on the beach. My oldest is in New York City. She's doing well on her own. My son's a musician. He's thriving. Every band around wants him to sit in on drums or play with them. And he's got chops. And my youngest daughter, she graduated a year and a half ago, and she's doing great. So I am finally at the point where I can pursue traveling more, where it's not going to affect. But now my parents are failing with their health, and it's challenging for them to operate on their own. And so my sister lives in Arkansas, so that puts me here. Now I can use all those as excuses, but the reality is, because I wasn't able and haven't been able to travel as much as I think that I need to make a successful career of this, I am now in the position where I had to learn something, and I had to grow in an area that I didn't expect to grow in, and that was social media. This year, it's been exactly a year now, in this season, that I really started targeting social media and hitting on social media. Now, that's like me learning to write with the right hand. Was it absolutely necessary? No, what's absolutely necessary for me is that I'm good at communication, and I'm good at if I'm doing a comedy show, that I give the clients what they want and the audience what they want. That's what's necessary for me. But learning to write with my right hand wasn't going to take away or change me. It was going to add to me. And so social media became me learning with my right to learn to write with my right hand, because now the gatekeepers are no longer there, really. You're in charge of your own thing. So if you're good with your talent, but you're not good with your marketing, then chances are people won't hear about you, because who is getting the bookings are the people who have a lot of following. That's just the dynamic now. It used to be that if you were really good, there was only a few that were really good in entertainment, and those were the stars. Those were the ones, the celebrities, and you didn't see them all over everything. Now, if you're not seeing someone all over, unless they're an established person like a Brad Pitt or something like that, they don't have to be there because they already got that from the olden days. But the ones who are getting the bookings, like in my industry, which is, entertainment, which is speaking, they know that if they book you, people are going to sign up based off of your social media following and interaction. And so this last year, the good in this situation, because I feel like, once again, I should be farther along. I don't know what you feel like, but chances are you feel like you should be further along than you are right now. Stop looking at the bad. We'll deal with that in a second. But focus first on the good. Focus first on the positive. You may think, man, I don't have anything positive. Where have you grown in this last season of your life, and you are stronger than you were before? For me, it's social media. For me, I now have larger numbers that I can, if I'm smart, leverage into more bookings and approach bookings in that direction. And so I can look only at the bad, which is challenging because I've got some issues that I'm dealing with. It's a season of life that I've never dealt with, but there are goods, and the goods are that I've got this. So where have you grown? Just stop and think about that for a minute. Where have you grown? Where are you stronger than you were before as a result of being just in neutral, or even in park when you thought you should be ripping down this highway? Where have you grown in this last season? What has this last season caused you to shift to and to focus to? For me, one of the areas is social media. Now, the next, I don't know what it is for you, but I challenge you, find it. You have to look for it. Once you look for it, then you'll see it. It's like the white car going down the road. Hey, are there any white Acuras out there? I don't know. I never see a white Acura. But today, because I said that, I bet you will see some white Acuras. Why? Because once you're aware that I'm supposed to be looking for these, then you start seeing these things all the time. The good is always present. Number two, the bad. Number two, the bad. The good, look for the strengths. The bad, find out where you're most sensitive right now. So we know there's bad that comes along with all this, but find out where, this is how you find and really target where you're hurt, is finding out where you're more sensitive and where you're different than you used to be. I am a big believer in patterns. When someone starts changing their pattern, then we can identify that's a result of something else that is shifted in their life. And so where are you different? For me, I was never a negative person. But in this last season, in this last year, I have found myself saying negative things like I would never say before. I would find myself withholding encouragement from other people because there's resentment in my heart that they are making it and I'm not making it in areas that I think I should make it. I'm just being honest with you. You can do your own story on your own podcast, but I'm just being honest with you. I have found that I'm different. My pattern is different than it used to be all of my life. I was naturally born a more positive, optimistic person, and in this last season of my life, I have become more negative. I have done less dreaming. I have gone for less. I used to go when I was younger because I wanted to pursue, a livelihood in traveling and speaking on stages. I would go when no one knew me. I would go to the airports and sit at the airports. You could do that back then without them kicking you out. I'd sit at the airports just so I could be around people who were going and doing something. When's the last time I did that? You can't really do that anymore. But when's the last time I put myself in the position to do that? I can tell I'm different in this area because I'm wounded in this area. I'm hurting in this area. So look for the areas that you are sensitive in. What is your buttons that when someone comes along and says something in this area, it pushes your button and you're like, don't you do? That's where you find the true symptom of the hurt, the true cut. The light comes in where the wound is. And so you look for where the wound is and you know that's where the light's coming in. This thing is an open wound. And so that's, for me, that's been one of the things, looking for the bad. Now, how a muscle grows, this is why we're doing it. How a muscle grows is it is stretched, it is torn, so you actually rip the muscle, and then what you need to do in order to grow the muscle is treat the muscle in the way. So how that's done in health is that if you grow a muscle, it's because you stretched it. That's why you have growing pains. That's why you're sore after you work out, because it hasn't been worked in a while and now you're actually ripping the muscle. So then you come back in with protein. Then you come back in with you're treating what was wounded with the nutrients and with the things that it needs. Some of us, we don't know where to start treating ourselves because we're not honest with ourselves about this is where I'm sensitive. Insecurities, this is where I'm sensitive. And so if we'll start treating ourselves, then we can start knowing how to grow these muscles and grow in these areas that are right now bad, that are right now hurtful, because we're honest with where we're good and where we're bad. Being honest, identifying it and being honest with ourselves, because we can't start from anywhere but here. And lastly, indifferent. What does indifferent mean? Indifferent means we let go of the expectation of the outcome. Because based on where you are right now, your expectation may be good or it may be really bad. That's why I say let go of any expectation and just do with what you have to work with right now, do that. There's a passage that says, thy word is a lamp unto my feet. It's a light unto my path. If we turned out all the lights right now and it was pitch black, a lamp unto my feet would give me clarity of where I stand right now. And a light unto my path would give me direction, illumination to where I'm going right now. What we need to do is be honest about the good, about the bad, and then indifferent about where we are right now. Where we are is fine. Why? Because if I'm fine with where I am, then I can figure out through God's inspiration, through the Holy Spirit leading me, guiding me, and directing me, I can figure out where I stand, and I can figure out what pathway and direction is illuminated. Does that make sense? So be honest, one, about the good. What is actually good in your life right now? Make a list of the things that are actually good right now. It doesn't mean you expected it. It doesn't mean you're tired from it, because it was hard to learn with the right hand. But I'm now a bigger person in that area. Wasn't necessary. You know what I'm saying? So we can see the good that comes out of that insecurity. We can see that happen all the time when relationships break up. You see a marriage that was, a 15-year marriage that broke up, and then all of a sudden, both of those people, both of those ex-spouses are all of a sudden posting pictures of them out clubbing, out looking great, out nightlifing, out in the gym, all that stuff. Those posts are most likely at first as a result of insecurities. Just like I was insecure about my left hand, I didn't want people seeing that I had a weakness in this. We get insecure about betrayals. We get insecure about things that happen to us. We get insecure about what we think people are thinking about us. And so we will overcompensate, and then we will do all these other things. And then we look back and say, oh, I can see I did that out of insecurity. But guess what? Even out of insecurity, you probably are in a better physical state as a result. So there, you can grab onto that. And then you can use maturity and how you want to use that. Doesn't mean you always have to do this forever like you did when you were all insecure about it, but it means you've embraced. You are indifferent now about the good and the bad. Identify where you're weak. Identify where you're sensitive. That's the area you need to start working on. And then we add things. We add to the area that we need it. Why? Because we are ripped and torn in that area. And we don't want to stay ripped and torn and deformed in that area. We have an opportunity to feed that area with the nutrients it needs so we can be bigger in our capacity, not just muscle-wise, but internally, emotionally, mentally, bigger and larger than we were before. And then lastly, indifferent. We let go of the expectation of the outcome. We're fine. However it works out, it works out. Even when it doesn't work out, it works out. We're going to be exactly where we need to be, okay? But if we work on ourselves, we'll be healthy along the way. Thank you for joining me. Think Twice Rocker Advice. My name's Elijah. If you want to follow me on all social media platforms, I'm on all of them, and I'll see you out there. Have a great day. Bye.